Alright, I'd like to welcome everybody to Major Music TV. If this is your first time here, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. What I like to do here on Major Music TV, I do a couple of things as far as like beat making videos. I may talk about topics that a lot of artists and producers may have questions on that, as far as that I have experience with. We used to actually do like a radio show called The Producer's Corner. We talked a lot about music marketing, pro audio, and engineering. And this channel is kind of a lot like that. I talk a little bit about some of the gear that I use, also maybe some of the plugins, software, maybe when a new expansion or sound pack comes out, I talk about that as well. And if you're not following me on Instagram, go ahead, hit me with a follow at d._majormusic. That's d._majormusic on Instagram. So today we're going to talk a little bit about content creation and just quickly 6 things that I do personally on a week-to-week basis as far as creating content between Instagram and YouTube. What I come to find is there are a lot of talented producers out there. There are a lot of really talented producers out there, even artists as well. I'll throw them in there as well. And what I see a lot of people doing is they make music only to leave it on their hard drive. And I know a lot of guys, they don't like to get on social media, they don't like to post, and their work is just sitting there, and it's kind of like they've been just spinning gears for years and not much has been happening around the work that they've been doing. So I figure, like it's 2020 and there's a lot of things that, like I've been having a beat site up to sell beats for about 10 years now. And, some guys don't even have a place for people to buy beats. Their beats are all stuck in their computer. And, if your beats are stuck on your computer, then how are you getting out there to new artists? How are you getting out there and networking? And, I'm just going to go over like 6 things that I do on a week-to-week basis. Now let's talk about number 1, beat making videos. With beat making videos, I try to do at the minimum at least 1 a week. You probably see me make beats on a variety of different things, everything from Beatmaker 3 to MPC 1 to, I know a lot of people saw me use Machine, also Logic. I'm pretty much everywhere. I'll put a lot of those beat making programs and applications in rotation, try to make sure I get a beat making video here, get one there. I do want to say this. Don't try to spread yourself too thin trying to learn this DAW or that DAW. Learn one really well, maybe 2 of them, and then kind of branch out. I've been using Machine for the better part of about 10 years, maybe a little longer. Also have experience with the MPC 2000 XL, and then I also been using Logic for quite some time. I just kind of got back into the MPC with the MPC 1, and I'm starting to get more into like hardware. So I kind of say that to say like, a lot of people want to see producers' workflow. They want to see how we operate. So let everybody in. Show them what you do. Show them how you go about making beats, and maybe throw some knowledge out there. Number 2, in regards to beat making videos, also maybe show a video on a beat that you made for a particular artist that you're working with. How you made that beat. Take them, again, kind of through your workflow. It's just something else you can have to make content every week. It could be a 2 to 3 minute video just saying, what drums you use, how you came up with your melody. Maybe if you were inspired by another artist or something to that effect. That's just little things that you can get out there quickly. I talked about number 3 a little bit earlier, and that's build your own website, where I know like a lot of people that are artists and producers like myself have one central location where people can go to find their content. Create a beat selling website where people can go, artists can go and hear some of your work. A great resource is actually Linktree. I see a lot of people using it. I've actually started using it probably about 2 months ago or so. And what Linktree allows you to do is place all of your links. So like I got my Apple Music link there, I got my Spotify link there, I got a link to my YouTube channel, and also have a link to my main website where people can buy beats at. And there's different plans. That's like the free plan. There's another plan that kind of goes more in depth with like analytics. Yeah, definitely. But build yourself a website. I kind of view that as a business card as well, because you know, where somebody hits my inbox or they may comment on the post, where can we find your beats? Or another thing is, if you're on Instagram, have that link, or Twitter, have that link on your profile. That way they can go right to your profile directly to your website. I personally use Yola site. I know some people use GoDaddy. I know some people use Wix. I would just say do your best research and find out what works best for yourself. Release new beat tapes. So we talked a little bit about building your own beat website where people can go and find your beats to purchase for their albums or their mixtapes. Something that I've been doing for a couple of years. I try to make sure at the minimum to put out at least one instrumental album a year, if not more. But it's also another great strategy, because that can be some royalty money for yourself right there. I know like a lot of people, for example, are looking for music to add to their playlists on Spotify. There's actually curators out there that are looking for new music to put onto their playlists. And you know, I've done a few of those promotions as well in the past, and it's got me traffic for some of my past projects. And also, you'll be very surprised how once you start to put out more and more of those instrumental albums, how a lot of people are gonna start looking at your stuff that you came out with 6 months ago or a year ago or even further out, and it just kind of starts building up that way. So again, your beats won't do you any justice by sitting on your computer. Put out a beat tape. You know, there's great distribution companies out there that you can start working with. DistroKid, $20, I think, what, a year, and you can release unlimited releases through DistroKid. Other distribution companies as well, like TuneCore. I also use TuneCore as well. They have some really good services as far as with their publishing. That's why I kind of do some of my projects on TuneCore. But I mean, both of them are going to be really good. I would say TuneCore is a little bit more pricier, because you pay that, I think, $30 to get what they call a release credit, album credit, and that allows you to release that one project. What happens though, on the flip side, a year later, they charge you $50 every year to re-up on that release. So if you don't pay that $50, they'll take your project down. Post something on Instagram daily. I see also a lot of people, like I have a lot of friends that, in fact, I know a lot of people that are producers, and I know a lot of guys that they might post once a month, if that. And that kind of goes back to what I said earlier, as far as not everyone's going to know what you're doing if you're just making beats and it's just staying on your computer or on your iPad. Get out there, post at least one thing daily. Whether, you know, I talked a little bit earlier, let's say you got your website up and running. Let's say maybe you got a couple of releases out now. Let's say maybe you started your own YouTube channel like this, and you started talking about different topics every day. Well, now there's also, of course, IGTV. Like, I put my videos on both platforms, IGTV and YouTube. But what happens is, when you start to post one thing daily, people start to notice your trends. They kind of start to expect those things. They pay more attention to what you're doing, because they see that you're serious about what you're doing. So I would say definitely post at least one thing a day, whether it's to your Instagram stories or whether it's to, you know, the main timeline. Going live for me, I had to kind of really start feeling comfortable about going live, because there's just, at times I may worry about, whether or not there's sometimes where they may have more people on the live than others. But also just I'm more of a, like, even when I'm working on beats in-house, I have to do it alone. It's kind of like I don't really like to have a lot of people in the area when I'm trying to create, and I feel like it's almost kind of like someone in a lab with you when you're on live. But what I've also come to realize is the few times that I have done it, and being that we've been on this quarantine for quite some time, I've actually went live quite a few times, and I noticed that people like it. People like it. Of course, you gotta start doing it. You may start your first couple of times and notice that no one's coming in. But once you do it enough times, you'll be surprised who pops in, how many people pop in to see what you're up to. Well, that's all I have. So just 6 quick things that, might be able to help you out as far as, creating content to network and just get yourself out there more. I see a lot of talented people that work never get heard. And the second side to that is you gotta also not be afraid to put that work out there. I mean, you've come all this way. You have this talent for a reason. Now, a lot of us, may just be starting out, and that's okay as well. It's okay to learn along the way as you go along. I remember when I released my first project, like in 2011, my computer had broke down, and I was just like, fuck it. I had to release my own project, and I was like, I put a lot of time into the project. Ended up being a 7-track EP, and I just went ahead and released it, and a lot of people like it. I look on my analytics, and it's 9 years later, and people are still listening to it. So you never really know who's gonna like what you come out with. Real quick, if you enjoyed this, go ahead, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to Major Music TV, and like I said, if there are any topics that you want to hear about, go ahead, leave that in the comments for me, and until next time.